and welcome to Light for Life. If you are returning to our channel, thank you. We value and appreciate you. Our aim is to shine a bright light on your inner splendor and assist to connect you to your magnificence via what we intend to be enlightened sharing, potentially educational and hopefully entertaining information, as well as encouragement for new perspectives. If you are new here, you are most welcome. We do hope that you will find our content highly beneficial and enjoyable. I am Liss. I'm a science of mind practitioner and a teacher of various healing modalities applicable to all aspects of the self and this life.
And I am Lori. I am a holistic wellness researcher and educator. Welcome to Connections with Liss and Lori. We use the space to offer our perspective regarding multiple different topics that we certainly hope you find inspiring. Today, we are going to explore our perspectives regarding words and the power of words and the power of words that might have over our lives. Particularly for me, my perspective really lies in the power of words over health. And I say that because of my perspective. My personal journey through life has been a little bumpy, no different than anybody else. But well, let's be honest, when I say a little bumpy, it's not been a little, it's been bumpy, okay? And I didn't understand the power of words, and the words that I was using in my life were really reinforcing literally everything that I did not want. The phrase that immediately comes to mind when I look back over my life is, I'm so sick and tired of feeling so sick and tired. And what did I do? I made myself more sick and I made myself more tired. And that's merely just one example of how words can have a tremendous amount of power in our lives and in our health. And I think it's crucially important to understand that the way that we use words is, how would I say it? Perhaps a command to ourselves, an instruction. When we say something like that, our cells carry out that task. So when it comes to describing, and see, I'm already struggling with it because I don't want to use words that empower what I don't want. So here we are. When it comes to describing the self, and we use I, or I am, or I have, or anything that literally begins with I, we are declaring to life, to the world, to the universe, to our body. We are making a declaration. So once we understand that, it becomes really vitally important to use those words with knowledge and with the intent of what it is that we do want our life to follow, our body to follow, our cells to carry out. And really use, I can't convey it enough, use all of your focus and all of your intent when you are creating that sentence that's about to fly out of your mouth, probably without any thought, and then all of a sudden you realize, I could cause a sticky wicket here. Before I go any further with that, do you have anything to add to start out with words?
Definitely, Laurie. I had some thoughts in the middle there, and I think I've lost them now. It's rather late in my corner of the world. But what I do want to say is that when you speak, it can be very helpful to hold the question in mind of, do I want my cells to hear this? Hold it in mind that they're listening.
Yeah.
And not just your cells in your body, but your cells in your personal energy field, your cells in the quantum, your cells in the universe.
Yeah.
Because words are instructive. And as you said, commandments, decrees, declarations, ordinations. And our cells are our servants. They exist to obey us, and they will. So try in as much as possible to bear it in mind that your cells are always listening. And they're not rebellious. They're going to do exactly what you tell them to do. Perfectly. And the second thing to remember is that the universe doesn't speak a language. The universe is not English or French or Japanese. The universe does not understand words. Well, then you say, well, then why are words powerful? Words are powerful because they actually carry sound frequency. Yeah. A thought is an energetic vibration that is linked to a certain energetic vibration. And in such, repetitively is powerful, but not nearly as powerful as the spoken word is, because it holds a sound frequency. And that is the language that the universe understands. The universe only speaks frequency. And that is why traditionally some words are no-nos. Don't say that, because they are really low frequency words. You know what? Sometimes the situation calls for a really low frequency word. I'll just put it out there. I'm not holier than thou in the sense that I will never use an F-bomb when it's called for. Sometimes the only thing that will suffice is a really low frequency word. But let's not use it like punctuation in our everyday language and just be sending this negative frequency out all the time for no good reason.
Right.
Because the universe is listening and will match that frequency for us. And our body, our lives, will reflect it.
So I'm curious, let's talk about some of the other no-no words. Once I was working with, actually, I think my sister is the one who told me this. She said, be very careful what you ask for because you just might get it. So I was going through a really big transition in my life and had just gone through a breakup and blah, 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 blah. So I am really focusing on what it is that I did want. And I thought about this for weeks and weeks and weeks before I ever wrote anything down, before I ever actually announced to the universe what it is that I wanted. And she said, refrain from using words like don't or not, because the universe doesn't hear them. If you say, I don't want, the universe hears, I want. Do you feel that's true?
I don't feel it, I know it.
Okay.
It's absolutely true because we can empirically prove it. Don't and not are negations.
Yes.
They are not just negative. They are negations. And a negation, by definition, is an undoing. The universe cannot not something. The universe only can something. So if you give the universe a negation, it's negated. It doesn't exist. It's like if you tell Google, don't show me a red car, the only part of that instruction that it's going to understand is red car.
Yes.
You can't tell Google, don't do something. It's going to do that. The universe is exactly the same way. It's exactly the same way. So we can't function in negations unless we want to use them for our benefit.
Well,
when we have said something and then we realize afterwards, oops, shouldn't have said that. We can't prevent the fact that other people's ears might have taken those words in, and sometimes that's really tragic. But we can call it back from the universe. Because fortunately, in this realm, we actually have space.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I've allowed a frequency to come out of my mouth, if I can follow it really rapidly with a negation, then it will be undone. So if you think about it in terms of prayer, from a faith-based perspective, to be asking for something from external to yourself and trusting for that. But then walking away from that prayer thinking, but I'm probably not going to get it.
Right.
Well, guess what? You just answered your own prayer because you're probably not going to get it.
Right.
And not because the universe didn't want to give it to you either.
Right.
But because you negated your prayer. Because
Yeah.
you see, here's the secret. There's no such thing as universe, listen to these thoughts and don't listen to those.
Yeah.
Every thought is a prayer. Every thought is creative. So I ask for and then I cancel. And then I ask for and then I cancel. And then I think I'm trusting for, but I have negated. That's that glass ceiling where we feel like we're not heard and we're not answered. We're the ones doing all of that.
Yes.
So definitely, Laurie, yes, the universe doesn't hear not. And this is the really toxic little tale at the end of that story. The more passionately we don't want something, the more emotion we put into the fact that we don't want it, the more we are guaranteed to get exactly that.
I can
The
speak
one
to
thing,
that
what's the one thing that you said you'd never do? I guarantee you've done it. What's the one thing that you promised yourself you did not want? I guarantee it showed up in your life way more than just once. So
let's talk about
the
that.
mirror shows, the mirror of reality is going to show us usually what's missing by showing us usually what we don't want to see.
So I can really speak to this one really well. When I was young, I mean really young, 18, 19, 20, I was never getting married. I was never having children, and I was never staying in Wisconsin. And guess what? Shazam!
Yeah.
Girl quickly stopped using the word never.
Yeah.
And quickly stopped declaring things about my life because I didn't have any idea how I was creating these nevers. So for somebody who might be in my shoes, who might be watching this, is it both the word never and the passion behind how I felt when saying, or does never really not play into it? I feel that never is another negation word, that the universe doesn't hear that.
Yes, it is. Because the N holds the frequency of negation.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is ever. So ever is just another way of saying always. Hey. So I will always be married. I will always be a mom, and I will always live in Wisconsin, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
From a frequency point of view.
I will always live on the ocean. I'm going to have a lot of passion behind that one too. So this is the entertainment portion of the Liss and Laurie connection.
Yeah. It's healthy to love. It's healthy to love. But Laurie, words are so powerful.
Yeah.
And just like a concept like yourself.
Yeah.
If you think about the word yourself, from a higher perspective, we know that all this separation and individuation is not actually real. We know we all come from one source. So what is this construct called yourself? What is it exactly?
Right.
Well, first of all, the little F on the end there is false. So you can just forget about that. So what you're left with then is yourself.
Oh, I love where this is going.
Yeah. You're yourself. And that's it.
Wow.
You're an arrangement of this little contained universe. I love etymology. I
Mm,
love words because 99% of the time, the truth is right here under our noses. It's coming out of our mouths.
yes.
And we're just so accustomed to it that we don't see it and we don't hear it until we do.
Until we do. Or until we have somebody, you know, a friend or a mentor or a therapist or something reflecting our words back on us. So what I really hear you saying is, years ago, I went through a certification to become a mediator, and that really helped me hear what people weren't really saying. But it also really helped me hear what I was actually saying to myself and in my life. So it was quite interesting how, like you said, it's right here. But we can't see, we can't see, we can't see. But somebody else will say, okay, what you just told me is XYZ. Is that your truth? Or would you like to reword that? Would you like to rephrase that into a more empowering statement? Would you like to cancel that?
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Cancel, cancel, cancel is something I use all the time. I I have a household full of adult children, and they are very free and loose with the things they say, and very often it's in jest.
Yeah.
But they have a very serious mum.
Huh?
So when they say something like, I don't have time to do this now because I'm going to be dead in 3 weeks, and they don't mean it at all, mum loses her marbles, and mom's walking around going, don't say that. Cancel, 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 cancel. So
Yeah.
overkill to some extent, sure. But there's that word again. Overkill, what are we saying? So I think it is very, very important. And it's a fabulous exercise of our own awareness to become more cognizant
Yeah.
of the words that we are expressing.
Yeah. Do we even listen to ourselves? Do we even listen to our thoughts and what they really mean? Because even if we don't say them out loud, our body's hearing them. So, you know, when we think negative thoughts about the cell says, okay, I'm on it. So, you know, all of these feelings of unworthiness or not pretty enough, not enough of whatever it is. Their hair is not right. Their skin is not right. They have too much cellulite. All of these things. They're I'm actually really good at putting my foot in my mouth a lot of the times. All of these things that we think about the cell and feel are what did you say in the beginning? They are commandments, they're declarations, they're commandments isn't the right word.
Ordination.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're all of those things.
yeah. It's command carried out from the motherboard to the rest of the computer that processes all of the things. And I think it's a great place to start, to just really start listening to your thoughts and start listening to the words that come out of your mouth and taking that opportunity right in that moment to say, no, cancel, cancel. I take that back. That is not true about me. That is not true about what I want to create in my life. And it's not true about what I want my cells to hear. And
And not only that, in general, not personally,
mm,
but in general, the words that have been embedded in our language,
mhm.
in general, that are really, really negative and low frequency. What people perhaps don't realize is that the English language is a phonetic language. It is not about how a word is spelt. It is about how it sounds, not just seeing and reading them. For example, good morning. What's good about morning? Morning is grief. We start our day and we greet one another, claiming that grief is good. So it's good to be unhappy. It's good to be sad. That's what we're saying. When we could just say, hi, hi.
Yeah.
We have a very busy week.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a great strong? Why is it not called a strong? Why is it called a week?
Oh, I didn't catch what you were saying right off the bat. Wow.
Even hello. The more cognizant and aware we become of the words that we use without thinking,
Yeah.
the more we'll become aware that sometimes what's keeping us in a certain frequency band is not just what we're thinking and what we're saying, but just habit,
Yeah.
norm. What makes it the norm? What's keeping the norm in place?
Mm-hmm.
And how are we all contributing to that norm? Those are some interesting questions to answer for yourself.
Absolutely. My wheels are turning. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurie, for a great conversation as always.
As always. Thank you for connecting with Light for Life. If you appreciate reminders, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can receive those notifications. If you would like to work with one of us, you can find our contact information in the About section of this channel.
Yes, thank you for connecting with Light for Life. Please share your insights, your questions, and your comments with us in the comment section below. We value your feedback. And we really hope that we will see you for our next episode. We upload one every Thursday. Until then, bye-bye and be joyful.
Until we connect again, we send you love and light.